Okay, my beautiful friends, it is Monday, June 28th, 2021. Let's talk, you and me. I think we're going to have a pretty epic week in aggregate. And let's talk about that. Right now, the stock market is poised for pretty much a flat open. Dow futures are ever so slightly. S&P 500 futures are higher. NASDAQ futures are higher, pointing towards more record highs here. However, we have a dollar this morning that's a little bit stronger, and although crude oil is at $74 a barrel, if crude falls under pressure here, it needs to pull back. I mean, let's talk about that, number one. We've watched crude oil pretty much, go higher, 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 without even the slightest pullback here. It's retarded. It needs a pullback. I'm not saying where to get one. I'm not in the business of picking tops and bottoms in any asset, okay? Anyone who tries to get into that business of picking tops and bottoms generally loses, okay? It's trends. However, you and I do need to, somewhat pay attention to the insanity around us. You want to talk about insanity? How about a stock market that just seems unstoppable? We haven't had a pullback. We haven't had a correction, and I can't remember how long. This is not a normal market in any way, shape, or form. And you know that if you follow this blog. So, again, this morning, stock futures are about flat, a little higher for the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. We probably will open up at a new record high this morning. Trading doesn't start for about half of an hour. 10-year yield, people, remain stable. All right, there's our unholy trinity: the dollar, crude oil, and that 10-year yield. So you watch these things, you can gauge to a large degree of accuracy what the market's going to do. And you will know that if you follow this blog. Weaker dollar, stock market positive. Propped up crude oil, obviously, boost the energy sector, financial sector. The market gets all giddy. Absolutely. And the 10-year yield staying stable. Okay, whatever. The market is still kind of digesting the fact that the Fed is not going to be raising rates anytime soon. Believe me on this one. I've been covering to the point of nauseum. There's no way the Fed is going to be raising rates anytime soon, despite this morning on Bloomberg, again, inflation, blah, blah. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. Powell himself, the Federal Reserve Chairman, said it. He goes, I'm not concerned about inflation. I'm more concerned that people need to be vaccinated. That's his bigger concern. I always, like I said, I always get my medical advice from the Federal Reserve. I'm sure you do too. I mean, of course, they are world control. Welcome to the party here. Okay. Silver right now catching a nice bid. Gold is about flat. Cryptocurrencies catching a bid pretty much across the board. Looking good here, people. As I explained yesterday with crypto, and I got a lot of questions this morning in my email box, because I had said in the video I did yesterday, we could get a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside. I still believe that. We're in this consolidation phase right now in a range with regard to cryptos, and it could break out either way. And if it breaks out higher, lovely. If it breaks out lower, I really don't care. Again, I'm a long-term holder here, and I think you get that. You need to be in alternative assets, and cryptos are not units of debt. You own them. They're not issued by a central bank. Same thing as like gold and silver, although silver remains my favorite asset of all time, and you all know that too. Anyway, lovely people out here, that's where we stand this morning. We're going to get bad economic news, several rounds of bad economic news this week, and that may be enough to propel the stock market to yet more record highs. Again, it's not going to stop. When you have a central bank that is absolutely hell-bent on owning it all, on issuing more debt, again, where does a central bank's power reside? Seriously, where? You all know it, I think, if you follow this blog. A central bank's power resides in its ability to issue debt. And the more debt a central bank issues, the exponentially stronger the institution becomes. the exponentially stronger. You understand? So this is why, like I have been explaining to you, the Fed's not going to stop. They're not done by a long shot. They're going to continue to inflate on an epic scale. So what does that mean for you and me? Get long the market, hoard physical silver, gold too, platinum, palladium, also great places to be. And yes, of course, cryptos. Don't people look. Let me say this real quick. My lions out here. A lot of people writing to me are traders, and they're like, "Oh, Greg, you're wrong. You got to start shorting this market." No, I haven't been wrong with regard to this market. I've been telling you that the market's going higher, and despite calls for crashes and pullbacks and market tops, it just keeps going higher. How anyone would want to short this market when there's more easy money than you could possibly imagine that's going to be pumped into it as the Fed issues debt through one door and buys it through another? Why would you short this market? You're going to lose. You're going to lose. And I don't want anyone to lose. I made a promise to all of you a very long time ago that I would keep you on the right side of this. And I think I held to that promise. If you listen to me, do your own research, of course. You realize that getting short this market in any way is a very dangerous move. Okay, we don't get pullbacks anymore, like I said. We don't get corrections anymore, like I said. Fundamental factors do not matter anymore. Technical factors don't matter. This market is in la la land. And nothing makes sense, and nothing is what it seems, people. You have to understand the root cause of what is occurring around you. It's the Fed. They're literally buying it all in their endgame mission to be the lender and buyer of last resort. So you want to get short this market? You got to be out of the dollar. I don't care about this knee-jerk higher in the dollar that we got since the Fed put out the possibility that they're going to raise rates in 23. Ain't happening. And even if they did do it, if the Fed were to raise the federal funds rate in 2023, does that mean they're done? Does that mean that's it? That all of a sudden they're not going to... No, they would still be buying assets at an incredible pace. Raising the federal funds rate 0.25%, you think that's going to make a difference with regard to their historic purchases of assets? Hell freaking no. They're not done. So people, this makes our life so simple. Look, we're not going to deviate from our plan. They're just not going to do it. Our plan is to bet against the debt, become your own central bank, stay long this market, don't short this market, and get into assets that are that you own, that are yours, that are not issued by central banks. All right, look, I'm out of here. This guy here loves you a lot. Please share the video, and I will see all of you at the end of the freak show of a day that we're going to have, because there's always a freak show.